Hey up, it's Steve from the Old Yorkshire Geek, and welcome to Magnificent Mondays, my show where I just watch the films I like. This week we're doing Highlander, and I forgot to play the trailer, didn't I? So we'll do that now. I'm such an idiot, I am, tell you, I'm bloody hopeless. So we'll look at the trailer, and then we'll talk about the film. By the way, rest in peace, William Friedkin, as you saw from the opening card. Very sad, but 87 is a good age. Right, so I'll get rid of myself.
From another time comes a man of great power.
You talk funny, Nash. Where are you from?
Lots of different places. A warrior of incredible strength.
You've the devil in you.
We've been kinsmen 20 years.
Connor MacLeod was my kinsman. I don't know who you are.
Because you were born different, men will fear you, try to drive you away.
A man uncertain of his future.
What you got here, Brenda, is a guy who's been creeping around since at least 1700.
It's not possible.
And haunted by his past.
Wait a minute, Nash. I want some answers.
You cannot die, MacLeod.
I'm Conor MacLeod of the Clan MacLeod. I was born in 1518 in the village of Glenfinnan on the shores of Loch Shiel. Now I am immortal.
A hero who is about to face his greatest challenge.
You will always be weaker than I.
What can you tell me about a 7-foot lunatic hacking away with a broadsword at 1 o'clock in the morning, New York City, 1985?
Not much, for he is not alone.
In the end, there can be only one.
Highlander, there can be only one.
Here we are, we're the princes of the universe. Here we belong, fighting for survival. We've come to be the rulers of your world.
Right, that were a long trailer, wasn't it? It seemed to go on a long time. How long did that last? Oh, only 2.5 minutes. It seemed longer. So there you go. So that's Highlander, classic film from 1986, starring Christopher Lambert, aka Christophe Lambert, if he wants to, be his French self. By the way, we've got some messages already. Hello, I am immortal from Lancashire, says 1592 Sandra. Was that when you were born? 1592. Well, there can be only one, and thankfully I'm not immortal, so I'm not going to have to. You're not going to have to chop my head off. And Windgrace is here. This trailer seems to be describing me. Are you the son of kings? Anyway, right. So let's get rid of that. Where were we? Blah blah blah. Highlander. Right. As I said, directed by Russell Mulcahy, starring Christopher Lambert, Sean Connery, Clancy Brown, who else? Roxanne Hart, Beatty Edney. Well, I'll talk a little bit about when we see her. The lovely Beatty Edney, the lovely Roxanne Hart as well, the lovely Christopher Lambert with his amazing eyes. But directed by Russell Mulcahy, an Australian director who I think he did a lot of music videos, but his previous film, I think which probably got him this gig, was an Australian horror film called Razorback, which is not bad. I've seen it once and I thought it was fine. It's about like a wild boar or a razorback, is what they call them in Australia, a big giant one, which is not bad. Who else? Right, what else? The amazing score, a theatrical score, not theatrical, orchestral score by Michael Kamen, the late Michael Kamen. It's really lovely. And also some great songs by Queen, my favourite band of all time. I don't wear enough Queen t-shirts. I've only got one. One more t-shirts that Iron Maiden ones for some weird reason. And that's about it really. At the budget, it wasn't successful, by the way, on its initial release. Hello, Josh Temple. Welcome to the show. What's up, everyone? Highlander, that's what's up. Where were we? It wasn't a success on its initial theatrical release. At the budget of $19 million, and it only made $12 million internationally in its, it's globally in its global run. So it wasn't a success by any means, but it became like a cult film, and it made a lot of money on home video and all that. So it got a sequel, which was bloody awful, because Highlander 2: The Quickening, which also directed by Russell Mulcahy, and I don't know what were going on, but they totally changed it, and it was bizarre. That's the best thing to say about it. I've only seen it once though, and that were enough. Maybe I should watch it again. Maybe it's got better. And there were also Highlander 3, The Sorcerer, which, to be honest, I didn't mind. It's not amazing, but it's more of a straight sequel to the first film. I kind of forget about all the stuff that happened in the second one. And then there were the series, weren't there, with I forgot his name now, Adrian somebody or somebody Adrian. I forgot his bloody name now. But I never really got into that, to be honest. I saw a couple of episodes, but I don't know. There was something about it. It just didn't appeal to me. So I didn't really see that. And they did a couple of like TV movies, spin-offs of that. And apparently there were a cartoon as well. Again, I haven't seen that. So anyway, so that's a potted history of Highlander, but the first one is the best, in my opinion. It's a really good film. It's close to perfect. It's up there. Highlander for me is up there with like Ghostbusters and like Empire Strikes Back and I don't know, other films, other almost perfect films, the Lord of the Rings trilogy. It's up there. But anyway, Sandra's saying, I loved Highlander the film, loved Queen, but obviously loved the series as well. Duncan MacLeod was born in 1592, was it? All right. I thought he was born earlier than that for some reason. I watched the film today as well, but I wasn't paying any attention to when he was born. I'll take your word for it. I thought he was like 15, 14 or something. I don't know, I can't remember. Whatever. Adrian Paul, there we go. Yes. How very dare I? And no, it has not. No, what? No, it has not what? You mean the second film has not aged well? Maybe. Right. So let's get this film up and then we'll go through it. As usual, I'm not just going to watch the film because that would be wrong and I'd get into trouble. We're just going to go through it in a series of stills. I might play the occasional little bit for effect. By the way, this is the Blu-ray rip. There we go. Pretty good Blu-ray. This actually, it's got lots of extras. But before we start that, don't forget, like and subscribe, share the videos, drop a comment, hit the notification bell if you're subscribed already. Oh my, we're also live on YouTube. So let me double check. We're live on YouTube. What's that doing there? Go away. I've pressed the wrong button. Hang on. Where are we? I don't know what button to press now. I've pressed the wrong button. That one. There we go. Oh, cracky. Yeah, we're live on YouTube, I think. No, I've pressed the wrong button again. Oh, never mind. Right, we're live on YouTube. And we're live on Rumble. It's working this time. It wasn't working last night. We're live on Twitch. As I keep saying, I don't know why I keep going on to Twitch, but I am doing. And tonight, remember yesterday, with my stream yesterday, my news stream, I was having lots of problems with a little icon that would appear there on my screen, telling me I had a bad connection or connection unstable. And I'm thinking, what's going on here? And I think the problem was I had too many tabs. I was running it through Chrome, and I think I had too many tabs open, for all my news stories that I was reading. And I think that upsets it. So So next time I try it, I'll try not. I'll have all my tabs open in Chrome, but I'm going to run it like I'm doing now. I'm running it through Microsoft Edge. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes tonight. All right. I see what you mean. Right. All right. Duncan MacLeod was born in 1592. All right. Connor was born in 1518. Right. Sorry. I thought I'm getting my MacLeods mixed up. I'll be talking about a detective with a big white hat and riding a horse next, played by I forgot his name as well. That were in Duel. That MacLeod. I know it's spelled differently. Hello, Joshua. Welcome to the show. And that mysterious man, Archmage Fraser, arrived on Twitch. He always has too many tabs open. Oh, well, there you go. There you go. That's something else we've learned about him. He's not quite as mysterious as he used to be. Where were we? Later on, I'll upload it to Spotify and Amazon Music Podcasts and Google Podcasts. I'm also on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Links are in the description, as are the links to my 2 books, Mercury Rapids, a light-hearted sci-fi action-adventure about UFOs and alien abductions, and sounds kind of serious, but it isn't. And Silent Predator, a short horror novella. You can see the difference in them. One's a hefty tome and one isn't. A short horror novella about big cats eating people in North Yorkshire. What else? They're on Amazon Kindle and paperback. It's just a bit of fun. Give them a whirl. And Sandra's giving us some more info. Meant the second and third Highlander films are still as bad. I didn't mind the Sorcerer one with Mario Van Peebles in it. She said, watched them recently, but wish I had not. I watched Highlander 1 and 4 Endgame. I know of it. I've not seen it all the way through. I think I saw a little bit because it's got Edge in it, hasn't it? Stuart Copeland, the wrestler? I'm into wrestling. So I watched it for his scene. He's in it for about 5 minutes at the beginning, isn't he? But I didn't watch the rest of it. And I think it's got Christopher Lambert in it as well, hasn't it? But anyway, so maybe I should give it a go, the series. Maybe I should give it a go. I've heard it's good. So, but is it set like in the same? I don't understand the timing of everything because the films kind of wrap everything up. So I don't understand what's going on in the series. But anyway, never mind. Right. Are we done? Can we start the film? Right, we'll start the film. I will make myself titchy tiny. There we go. And Windgrace says, series is good, skip the animated one. Well, that's kind of the rule of thumb, isn't it? For stuff like with Stargate, Infinity. We kind of skip that one as well, don't we? Anyway, maybe I'll give it a go. I'll see if I can find it, by completely legal means, obviously. Right. Joshua Kanapke says, Clancy Brown is the greatest. Yes, he is. He is the greatest. Well, he's up there, isn't he? He's up there. Everybody loves Clancy Brown. In whatever he does, he's really good at it, isn't he? Whatever he does. He can be a goodie, he can be a baddie, he can do it. He can do it all, can Clancy Brown. He's great. He's really good in a film called, now over here it was called Deadly Pursuit. But I think in America it was called Shoot to Kill with Tom Berenger and Sidney Poitier and Kirstie Alley. Really good film is that, and Clancy Brown played the baddie in that. Really good film. Give it a whirl. Right, we'll get the film up. Right, off we go. I'm going to do it now. It's doing that again, where I've got to move my mouse over. Right. See if it's going to start. Yes, we're off. Right. We're off and running. Right, so it's a Studio Canal Plus thingy. Windgrace says he's my favourite Lex Luthor. Did he play Lex Luthor? Missed that bit. I missed that one. Oh, I bet it's in one of the animated films, isn't it? One of Superman animated films. I bet it is. Right. Right. A Canon co-production as well. Along, I think they were the releasing like Columbia, Canon, Warner, or something like that. So I was surprised to see that logo. Right, Thorn EMI. They stumped up the money, did Thorn EMI. And off we go. Oh, and then we get a We got Sean Connery in a voiceover saying, "From the dawn of time we came, moving silently down through the centuries, living many secret lives, struggling to reach the time of the gathering, when the few who remain will battle to the last. No one has ever known we were among you until now." Oh, it's doing that thing again. Oh, poo. I thought I'd got away with it. No, never mind. Windgrass says he was the voice of Lex in the entire DC animated universe. Oh, there we go. Joshua Kanapke says Canon had some classics. Yes, they did. That's some great films, such as Life Force, which I did on Friday Night Appointment with Fear once. Anyway, that's enough of my Sean Connery impressions. Apparently, that were recorded, by the way, not me, the Sean Connery part, in his bathroom, which is why it's all echoey. But it added to the effect. Right. You're going to do something.
Never known.
There we go. Right, a Russell Mulcahy film. Oh, then we get Queen singing "Born to be Kings." There you go, we're the Prince of the Universe. Fighting to survive. Get through the credits. Lovely Beatty Edney. Tell you my little story when we get to her, when she appears on screen. Alan North. Oh, we'll get to them as well. Sheila Gish. Songs and additional music by Queen. I've got the album, The Kind of Magic. And I consider myself fortunate that I finally got to see him at their very last live show at Nebworth in 1986. 1986 at Nebworth, along with 140,000 other people. It was amazing. Right, so anyway, right, so we get through the credits. Start the film. We're at Madison Square Garden, MSG, to watch some wrestling. I don't know if it's WWF, it would have been at the time. I don't know. Or if it's just something else. I don't know. But we've seen the Fabulous Freebirds. Ring the bell and all the action starts. Then we have like I don't know how they've done this. It must have been because they didn't have drones in them days. It must have been a camera on a wire or something. Anyway, Joshua's talking at us. Connery, the Scot, as an Egyptian Spaniard, is still pure gold. Yes, he is. Yes, he is. And of course, you've got Christopher Lambert, a Frenchman playing a Scot with his amazing accent. But we'll get to that as well. You talk funny, Nash. Where are you from? Lots of different places. Anything ever at Nebworth was worth the time. Yeah, well, yes, Queen were amazing. I forgot to mute this, didn't I? Let me mute it. Did it? There we go. Right, so we have like a flyover of the arena. Land on. It doesn't quite work. It's supposed to zoom in on Christopher Lambert, but it doesn't quite work out that way. We can see where we're supposed to be going. And I think it's supposed to be sitting somewhere around here. But they do a cut and with flashes, and it's a bit obvious. I don't know, can we see him there? I'm trying to work out if he is there. Is he? Or is it just random people? Oh, look. Is he there? I can't see him. Because we're going to get a flash of some cameras now for the cut. But is that a special effect person? They look like zombies, don't they? These ones down here. Anyway, is he there? All the flashes going off for the cut, and there we go. There's the cut. Then we see him there. There he is, Christopher Lambert. Not really impressed with the wrestling that's going on. Windgrace says, I loved Connery as the Russian commander in Red October 2. Yes, he was as Commander Ramius, the Vilnius school teacher. Yes, it's good as that. Let them sing. And brilliant take of Mr. Connery. Well, thank you. The late, great Sir Sean Connery. Anyway, where were we? Right, so he's watching the wrestling. He's obviously not impressed with it because we start getting flashbacks of actual proper fighting. Here we go, going into battle in the Highlands of Scotland. There we go. He's having flashbacks. So he decided he's going to go. He's probably sensing another immortal in the arena because he goes down into the parking garage, which were actually filmed in England. This part, the outside, maybe the bit in Madison Square Garden itself may have been in Madison Square Garden. I'm not entirely sure, but this is it's shot in England somewhere, and then meet a chap called I think Fazil. I think he says Fazil. Me and names, bloody hopeless. Let me have a look. Let me have a look on the cast list. It'll say somewhere. Hey, I'm going to have to go further. I'm going to have to all cast and crew. Hey, I wonder why they never give Kurgan a name. I wonder why. Come on, show us him. Why aren't it showing him? Oh, there we go. There we go. Iman Fazil, played by Peter Diamond, who I think is a stunt actor. I think he did was it James Bond films or was it Star Wars films? I can't remember. Maybe both. I can't remember. I just want to check the stream and make sure it's okay. Yeah, it seems fine. It seems fine. So I'm getting that little connection. It says it's fairly good. Oh, it's gone off now. I thought maybe it was a Chrome thing, but I'm using Edgy and it's still doing it. So anyway, so we'll carry on. Right, so he meets Fazil, who's another immortal, and calls him by his name, and MacLeod. So they start fighting immediately. He doesn't want to fight, but obviously they've got to because there can be only one. So they have a fight, and it's all cool. And there we go. I've seen Peter Diamond in a documentary, in a behind the scenes thing, and I can't remember what it was for now. But it seemed a nice chap, and he had to do something, and I can't remember what it was. But he was laughing about it. It'll come to me probably in the middle of the night. Right, so he's on the car. Look. Here we go, chasing each other on the cars. Oh, he does a cool little backflip here for no real reason. There we go. I bet that's Peter Diamond. Grabs his sword, a very ornate sword he's got there. And goes for, there you go, there's Peter Diamond, there's Fazil. Anyway, so they're still fighting away. The sprinklers have gone off. And he's hiding. Gets his sword back. He lost his sword. It skidded under a car. He gets it. We see it's like what do they call them? Japanese swords. One of them. And we see where he gets that from later on. Right. So, there we go. Missed the main bit. There we go. So basically, he didn't want to fight, but he does anyway, and he chops off Fazil's head, as we'll see. Oh, there we go. I won't show it. Katana, that's it. Yes, thank you, Win Grace. This is katana. Or is it? Is there different sorts of them? I don't know, because they never call it a katana in this film. They just call it a Japanese broadsword. But it looks like a katana, doesn't it? But anyway, so he's chopped his head off, and his sword's got embedded in the pillar. Joshua says, yes, Diamond was the Tusken Raider that attacked Luke in Star Wars 77. Yes, and also appeared in Empire. Yes, that's what I've seen him in one of the Star Wars documentaries. I think it was in Empire of Dreams, talking about how we'll get his sunburn. Yes, that's him. Yes, that's the fella. I think he was the only stunt person in Tunisia when they were filming in North Africa. He was the only stunt man, and he played the sand person. He got very sunburnt. Anyway, right. So now we've got his sword's got embedded in there, leaving clues behind for other people to find. Owen Grace is educated me over katanas. It's only katana if it's single-edged and curved, I guess. All right, very good. Very good. Tell you, he knows everything, does Win Grace. He's either all-knowing or just really good and quick with Google. Right, anyway, so we see the first magical stuff going on with these immortals. When there's like a release of energy, but it doesn't happen immediately. It waits a bit for some reason. There's a release of energy. Maybe it builds up when an immortal gets killed, and they all start doing all this glowy stuff and floating about. Where the Disney Disney electricity comes out, and then all the cars, all the glass and stuff explode, and the car alarms go off, and the cars start up. And he gives it all, whoa, and all that. And it all goes quiet. Like he's absorbing the, I don't know what it is. Is it the life force of Fazil? Well, anyway, so he runs off. We're still doing that now. He's getting his mojo. The quickening, I suppose it is, isn't it? Joshua was saying it was also the Nazi that nearly took Indy out of the truck in Raiders. Well, that Peter Diamond. Oh, very good. But there were a couple of them, weren't there? There were a couple of them. So anyway, where were we? Right. So he's doing his quickening stuff there, absorbing all the energy. Presuming as it goes on, and the less and less, they defeat more and more of these immortals. I'm guessing they just get more powerful. But that's just a guess. Right, there you go. All the glasses shattering. He collapses to the ground. And I think and then we have a one of the first of these many transitions. The camera goes up. Have a cool transition to Scotland. This is I forgot. Is it Glenfinnan? I can't remember the name what it's supposed to be. But anyway, this is Connor MacLeod's home, and they're going off to battle against the Frasers. So here we go. There we get his first look of Connor as the Highlander with his cousin Duncan. Is it? I can't remember now. Dougal. That's the fella, not Duncan. Duncan's in the series, isn't he? That's Dougal, and that's Angus, who's amazing, by a famous actor whose name escapes me. James Cosmo, that's it. The great James Cosmo's been in tons of stuff. He's a goodie in this, and he's a nice fella. Joshua says NYPD is going to be busy dealing with all that vandalism. Yes, they're going to wonder what's gone on. Right, so anyway, there we go. They're off to battle. We've got the bagpipes going and stuff. We see Connor's girlfriend, played by, I think, Celia Imrie, I think. There she is, with an ample bosom. She's in. She soon turns. I'm telling you, she soon turns. Later on, she's obviously not that in love with him. So anyway, they're off to battle against the Frasers. Here we go. So they're running across some moorland in Scotland, and there we get his first look at Clancy Brown as the Kurgan. I wonder why they didn't give him a name. Maybe they just wanted him to be mysterious. And I don't know. I don't really know the lore of Highlander, but in my head canon, him along with Ramirez, a couple of the oldest of the Highlanders, the oldest of the immortals. I'm guessing because even Ramirez says, the Kurgans were an ancient people from the steppes of Russia. So I'm thinking he's been around a long time. Joshua says huge tracts of land. Yeah. Anyway, so here he is, and I've got a. Oh, I can't get it. It's over there somewhere. I've got the single. It's actually a 12-inch single vinyl of I forgot which song it is now. One of the Queen songs that they released as singles off the Kind of Magic album. I can't remember which one it is now. It's not Princes of the Universe. It's another one. It's got a big picture of him on front cover, and I always thought it looks like Freddie Mercury in the helmet, and I don't know if they changed the image slightly. Sorry, to look a bit more like Freddie, but it does look a little bit like Freddie Mercury there, in my opinion. Anyway, he says he wants the boy. Remember, Connor McLeod is for him. And we see lightning flashing and stuff, and nobody'll fight him. Saying, "Fight me, damn you!" They won't fight him because he's for the Kurgan. So anyway, battle commences. Death to the McLeods, etc. And off they go, clanging swords and slashing and punching and etc. etc. They're drowning somebody. I think it shows a priest as well, cut somebody's throat and then give it all that. Fight me, damn you! There we go. And then he says to Dougal, nobody'll fight me. He says, here, laddie, stay by me. Because obviously he don't want to die either, does he? Then the Kurgan arrives and he makes short work of Connor, runs him through with his sword. But he's about to, chop his head off, and the McLeod save him. They drag off the Kurgan. Another time, McLeod. But I think he's gonna die. There we go. We get a weird shot there. It's I don't know what camera they use for that, but it looks bloody awful, doesn't it? It's all blurry and with an iris in. Maybe it's just some weird lens. And then we cut to his driving. I think we'd seen him earlier on. We'd seen him hide his sword. He'd like thrown it up into some pipe work for some reason. And then he's driving his car out of the garden. And then we see the exterior of the garden. This is obviously before it was destroyed in Godzilla 1998. Sandra says, James Cosmo, met him at Huddersfield Comic Con a couple of weeks ago. Lovely guy. Oh, yeah. I've never met him. I've been to a few Comic Cons. I've never been to Huddersfield Comic Con. It's probably the closest one that we've had here to me. I've been to the Wakefield one, but not the Huddersfield one. But yeah, it's cool in this. But my story about BT Edney is about from a Comic Con. Anyway, so the police have arrived, toot sweet, and they stop Connor, and he's arrested. There we go. Take him into custody. He doesn't go willingly, but they take him in. Let's see some ID, pal. Don't move, don't even breathe. This kind of manic cop. I can't remember his name. Is it Gar? No, it's not Garfield, is it? Can't remember. I'm looking down the cast list, and I'm trying to remember. There's a line where he mentions his name, and I can't really remember what it is. We've got Alan North as Lieutenant Frank Moran. Well, you may know Alan North was in what they call it, Police Squad, the forerunner to the Naked Gun films. I'm trying to remember. It might be Garfield. Could be. There's a couple of cops that hang about with Moran. One of them's Garfield, and the other I can't bloody remember. I think it is him. Anyway, right, whatever. Don't lose your head. No, don't. Godzilla stand the greatest American actor, Matthew Plankerwood Broderick. I like Godzilla 1998. I do. It's one of my... I'm not even going to call it a guilty pleasure. I just like it, despite Matthew Broderick, who can't wink. Just does that with both eyes. Stupid man. Anyway, still confused why he was arrested here. I don't know. Maybe they just heard the commotion in the parking garage or something, and or maybe it were on the security cameras. I don't know. But they've got him, haven't they? There's several things in this that don't make sense, but never mind. It doesn't detract from the film. Anyway, so they've got him. He's in custody. Then we have another transition back to Bonnie, Scotland. I went to Scotland once, and it wasn't raining. So it was that Billy Connolly skit in there. You know, people said to me, "I went to Scotland once, and it was raining. Cause it was fucking raining. Where do you think you're going, Benidorm?" Oh dear. But when I went, it wasn't raining. It was lovely. Anyway, right. So Connor's on his deathbed. They're giving him the last rites and everything. They think he's going to die. There you go. It is over. Think he'll not see the night through. And Celia Imrie. Let me check. I think it's Celia Imrie. Just let me double check. There we go. Kate Celia Imrie. Yes. Probably mispronouncing that. She's all wailing away, and Angus is saying, you know, the last thing he needs to see is a wailing woman. He's a Highlander, etc. There we go. There you go. So I think he's going to die, and then we go back to modern times, seeing the headless body of Fazil. So then we meet Roxanne Hart as Brenda Wyatt. There's Alan North as Lieutenant Thingamabob. I forgot his bloody name as well already. Me and names. What am I like? Moran, that's it. I should remember that because I'm a Moran. You know what I mean. And I think I've got her autograph somewhere. Because they were at a convention. They had like a Highlander get together at this convention. I think it was Collectomania a few years ago in Birmingham. Birmingham, England, not Birmingham, Alabama. And I think I got her autograph. I got Christopher Lambert's and I got B.T. Edney's. And I'm sure I got hers as well. I can't remember. Anyway, I should have looked and got it all ready to show you. But anyway. So, anyway, the detective saying, hey, Lieutenant, what do you think the cause of death is? And there we go. Garfield. But here she's finding clues. She's looking at the scene. Oh, there, there's tripping over the head. There you go. She's found a clue, some metal bits in a minute. Oh, she's found Fazil's sword. Yes, Garfield. Yes. Garfield is the don't move, breathe. Yes, that's him. Yes, I couldn't remember. Windgrace, hope it wasn't called Highcon. Don't know. I don't get it. No, it wasn't. It was Collectomania. Which has been cancelled this year because of the strike. But yet the other conventions are still going on. For some reason, this year's Collectomania is cancelled. Not that I were going. I were hoping to go to Destination Trek. But that's not happening. You know. Anyway, never mind. Sandra loved Police Squad. Yes, so did I. I love Police Squad as well. Anyway, she's found Fazil's sword and she says, wow, look at this. It's worth about $1 million. You know, any antique dealer on whatever street would tell you that. So then we're at the NYPD. They've got what they call it is Russell Nash now. He's not Connor McLeod, he's Russell Nash. They've got him in a room with Garfield, and this is where we see Christopher Lambert's there we go, his eyes, and he's staring at, well, he's not staring, he just looks at Garfield and makes Garfield uncomfortable. So it's a case of, you know, he's got ancient eyes. These eyes have seen things that you can't imagine, etc. That sort of thing. There's many lifetimes in those eyes. There he is, making him feel a bit peculiar. Anyway, so they come in and start asking him questions, asking him about Fazil and people that had their head chopped off. There's another chap had his head chopped off in New Jersey 2 nights ago. So obviously there's immortals going around popping each other. Never really explains why there has to be only one. But anyway, never mind. It's the law. This is where it says, you talk funny, where you from? Talk funny, Nash, where you from? This is where it says, lots of different places. I can't do an impression of Christophe Lambert. There you go. but he's not under arrest. It says, "Do you know what this is?" He shows him Fazil's sword. He says, "A sword." He says, "I don't deal in exotic weapons." And then we get the F word from Garfield in a minute. This is Moran's theory that he wanted to buy the sword from Fazil, and it went wrong, and he didn't want to pay the money, and he chopped Fazil's head off. But says Fazil, was so unhappy with the lousy wrestling in a fit of despair, he went down into the garage and cut off his own head. There you go. And this is where Garfield drops his F-bomb, the other F-bomb that you're not allowed to say anymore. Although it can also be a pork product in gravy, which I had some the other week and I didn't like them. They were on sale, and I thought I'll try them. Brains, they're not made of brains. That's the brand name, Brains. Them. Anyway, there we go. So they're having some homosexual banter, I suppose we could say. Almost come to blows, and he says, "I'm under arrest," and he says, "No, then I'm going." So let's meet Kurgan in the modern day. He's arriving in New York, booking himself into this this seedy hotel as Victor. Oh, I can't remember now. Victor. I can't remember what he said. Victor something. I can't remember what he called. Oh, Kruger. There we go. Wonder if he's related to Freddy. Could be. Because Nightmare on Elm Street were out at the time, wasn't it? There we go. And you can see he's got a big scar on his neck. Later on in the film, he has like safety pins in, and I don't understand why. But anyway, we'll get to that. And I'll offer a theory later. Right, so he's going up to his room, and so he goes up and assembles his sword. There we go. He's got his sword in bits. You'd think, I know I'm not a sword expert, but you'd think if your sword's in bits, particularly the blade, it wouldn't be as good, would you? It wouldn't be as strong. But particularly, on the joints there where it's going to, slot together. But anyway. Sandra says, visited Donnan Castle where they filmed Highlander. My friend Joyce and I had rain, sun, hailstones the size of marbles the day we went. Yes, well, that's Scotland for you. But when I went, it was lovely. I went to Ayrshire, Ayr, and it was lovely. Lots of castles in Scotland. There's lots of castles in this this film as well. Obviously, Scots loved building castles because every time you went round a corner, there's a castle, either a nice one that people lived in or like a ruin of one. But anyway, so he's putting his sword together. There he is, and then there you go. And then we meet a girl from my youth. Not that I know her, but remember her. Hang on. Sandra's updating. Oops, Eileen Donnan Castle. Well, I don't think we'd have we'd have picked up on that, Sandra. I don't know where it was filmed. Are you going to start playing? Is it? Are we going? What's going on here? Has my computer froze up, or is just this that's being silly? Bear with me. It's acting silly buggers. There we go. We're off again. Right. Right, so he's playing with his sword. Then we meet there's a knock on the door. Let me show us. We meet it's like his DAC tag, his Klingon I think there we go. Because it's got extra bits on. There we go. There we meet I forgot her name. She was a page 3 girl back in the day. Remember page 3 in England, English people? What's her name? Anyway, she was a page 3 girl who I found very attractive. Anyway, she's playing obviously a prostitute called Candy. Says, "Hi, I'm Candy." And, "Of course you are." So there she is. Oh, a name popped in my head then, and then It was there. It was there. It you know, like in the Mummy titles, where it just turns to sand and goes away. Did that. Oh, is he a pacifist too now? Is it? I don't know. No. Oh, yes, like Worf. Like Worf. Right. What's her name? She was in an AC/DC video as well for You Shook Me All Night Long. It's bothering me now. Anyway, never mind. Right. Brenda doing some science work, and then a fella in a white coat comes in and gives her some stuff from the coroner, talking about they found some metal bits on the dead fella, on Fazil. And there goes this joke, real smooth shave. Found in the clothes and on the body, bits of metal from the sword that killed him. Joshua says, yes, I would think the connection points would have been weak spots when parrying and blocking, yes. Yep, you'd have thought so, wouldn't you? It's only a film. It's only a film. Windgrace, we do not discuss that with that. Oh, sorry, that's a personal message between you two. I protest I am not a merry man. That sounded more like Sulu than Worf then, didn't it? Said he goes for Rigel 7. Anyway, right, whatever. Right, so she's going to go and check the, she's going to carbon date or whatever. I don't know. She's going to test on these metal bits, and she finds out how old they are. Obviously, this means stuff, science. And she says that can't be right because it means it's like super old, older than it should be. So, anyway. Right, so he's gone back for his sword, his katana, as Connor, Russell Nash, Connor McLeod, whatever. Just as he gets it, Brenda shows up, but she doesn't see him. She's using a metal detector. Oh, and I saw a thing today that, what was it on now? About the fellow that invented the metal detector, and I can't remember who it was now. Never mind. I saw it on something on YouTube today, and I can't remember what. And it said, this fella did such and such a thing, but he also invented the metal detector. So I thought, oh, that's interesting. Anyway, she's got a metal detector, so she finds some more bits of metal. And so she's going to go and test them, no doubt. And she hears a noise. She says, who's there? So she legs it. Right, here we go. There's no way there were metal fibers left over from McLeod's blade. Ooh. Well, I mean, I think there's supposed to be like big, massive chunks she's taking out, isn't there? You'd imagine there could be like little slivers, you know, or like traces of it, like metal dust or something like that. You know what I mean? But there wouldn't be like big chunks. It'd have like big chunks missing out of his sword, wouldn't it? But anyway, I'm sure Shadiversity's got stuff to say about that. Follow their channel. They're into swords. Google Gustave Pierre Trouvé invented it. Oh, right. Google says that. All right. Okie dokie. Fair enough. That name doesn't ring a bell, so it's probably a lie then on YouTube. But anyway. Right, where were we? She's gone to a bar. Where's she gone? She's gone to the Peter McManus Cafe, where they do steaks and, what does that say? Chops. Chops. And Budweiser, obviously. Anyway, she's gone in there. Start playing. Is it? Yes, we're off again. Right. Right, she's having a drink. And then Connor comes in and he says, do you have you been to the garden recently? And is he talking to Brenda or is he talking to the barman? Obviously, he's talking to Brenda. And he says, what did you say? And the garden and basketball, wrestling. He says, are you following me? He says, I'd like to walk you home, Brenda. Obviously, she declines. Oh, we're listening to a Queen song, by the way. 1 Year of Love. By the way, I may start crying later on during the Who Wants to Live Forever scene. I was nearly going watching it today. Tell you, a big softie. Anyway, there. So she sets off walking home. No, she doesn't. He sets off walking home. She follows him. There we go. So he's going. She's following him. He knows that. He also knows that the Kurgan's lurking. So anyway, he gets Brenda. He grabs Brenda and says, there you go, be quiet. But then just as he says that, the Kurgan pops up in slasher movie style. The beginner to fight. But he hasn't got his sword with him. Where did he put it? Because he just got it back, hasn't he? Maybe it's in his car. I don't know. Maybe he's stashed it in his car. So he's fighting with chains and iron pipes and stuff. Kurgan's like beating him up a bit, and there can be only one and all that. And then the police helicopter arrives. She shouts, "Stop!" And the police helicopter arrives. There you go. And says, "Another time, Highlander, I will find you." They run off. The police say, "Stop what you're doing and put down your weapons." And they just run off. And the police say, "Hey, wait a minute," and then fly off and ignore them. So, so then she runs out. Obviously, the Kurgan's buggered off. She runs out and says to him, "What did he mean? There can be only one what? Only one what? Why did he call you Highlander?" And he tells her to go home. There you go. Then we have another transition to Scotland, and then it's me on film. My teeth are just like that. Oh, dear. Laughing, cackling. And they're all sad because Connor's alive. They thought he was going to die, but he didn't. And that's a fancy beret, ain't he? Is he in one of the para regiments? They had red berets, didn't they? So they think obviously he's in league with Lucifer. I say he's got the devil in him. Comes in, and they're all wary around him. Dougal says, "You're drinking with us, are you?" And says, "Only last night, all but a corpse." And he says, "Would you rather I were dead?" There you go. And Kate there, she won't touch him, and she says, "He's in league with Lucifer." There you go. Don't say that, Kate. Pardon me. He looks familiar. What have I seen him in? Who played Dougal? Let's have a look. Billy Hartman. He doesn't have a picture on IMDb. Let's open his link in another tab. Right. He's a Scottish actor, born in 1957. He was in Highlander, Slaughter High, and Emmerdale. Maybe I've seen him in that then. He's been in Minder as well. And that's it, I think. I'm not in. He's been in Casualty, obviously. Every British actor's been in Casualty at some point. And The Bill. Heartbeat. It's just a lot of British TV, basically. Touch of Frost. Yeah, that's probably what I've seen him in. Anyway, right. So let me close a couple of these tabs. I'll keep that one. Actually, hang on. No, I'll close that one. And I'll close that one. Because we know they're going now, and hopefully it'll stop that little message popping up if I've not got as many tabs up. Right, where were we? Connor McLeod was my kinsman. I don't know who you were. And Gus talks to Angus. He says, Angus says, you better go, Connor. And he says, I'm not going anywhere. And then gets a clay pot smashed over his head. So now they've yoked him up. He's fastened to a yoke. And they're beating the crap out of him. There we go. And driving him out of the village. This fella's head butted him. I presume he's broke his nose, maybe, I don't know. And even Celia Imrie wants to burn him. Sorry, Kate. She wants to burn him. But Angus intervenes, or even Dougal were braying him. But Angus intervenes and says, there'll be no burning today. There we go. But Celia's, keep on the Celia. Kate is not happy about that. But, says, we'll banish him. And she says, no, burn him. There we go. She soon turned, didn't she? You're still doing that. I thought getting rid of all those tabs had stopped it doing that. Never mind. I've seen other people have had that problem as well. I noticed Ryan Kinnell on RK Outpost, he's been complaining about it. So it must be a StreamYards thing. It must be a StreamYards thing. Anyway, right. So he says, "Can you walk?" And I bloody well walk out of here. So off he goes. And no, forget you, Angus. Good old Angus. A tear in my eye. The unexpected acts of kindness always set me off. Right, so off he goes. There we go. That's a cool shot, isn't it? With him. Can you see him? There he is there. Look. And the moon. It's obviously a composite shot, but it's still cool. Oh, that was it. Another nice transition. There we go. He's resting here now. He's obviously got rid of his yoke somehow. But then as his face transitions into the Mona Lisa, there it is. Look, and it's a really good transition, isn't it? A really good transition. Now, is this street? Sandra wants to burn him as well. Burn him, burn him. Tell you. Mass hysteria. That's what it is. Anyway, I'm sure I've seen this in another film. This Mona Lisa thing. Was it in Fame? I could be wrong. I probably am. And I don't know if I've seen Fame, the film. I might have just watched the music video. But they're all dancing about outside. Was that filmed on this street? I don't know. Anyways, going to his office. This is obviously in New York. This street here is this New York? It probably isn't it? But anyways, going to his there we go. Nash Antiques. So I was going to go into his inner sanctum. He goes with all of his stuff that he's collected over the years, and he's having another flashback. And here we go. He's taken over an old castle. I'm guessing this was built for the film because it doesn't look very real. It looks a bit like it's a wooden frame with like fake stone outside, but it looks cool. But, so they've taken over this old castle. As I said, they're everywhere in Scotland. So anyway, and this is where we meet Beatty Edney, and she's there. She brought pie and ale for him. And then they're making love. By the way, Beatty Edney, my little story. It's rubbish. It's not really a story. But me and my son went to Collectomania a few years ago, and I got her autograph. And she looked at my son. She said, "Do you want my autograph too?" And my son went, "No, I don't know who you are." He's honest. He's honest. He's my son. And she went, "Okay then," and everybody were laughing. My son's autistic, by the way, and just is autistically honest. But that was funny. Everybody were laughing, including her. Right. So anyway, they've done that. There we go. Well, whatever. Will you make love to me forever? She says, and I blossom, I will. And then Sean Connery enters with a flashlight. I don't know. It all lights up for some reason. He's on his white horse. And then he introduces himself. Greetings. I am Juan Sanchez Villalobos Ramirez, Chief Metallurgist to King Charles V of Spain, and I am at your service. So here he is. So he's introduced himself. He says, "What do you want?" And says, I want you. And here he is, says, "You're Connor McLeod, you're wounded in battle, driven from your village. So it's been 5 years." And then he feels ill. And this is where we see, no women's rights back then. And he says, "Go in the house, Heather." He says, "I'll stay right here." He says, "Do as I say, woman." That's how you treat your women. Sorry, Sandra. That's how you treat your women. Hey. What's he on about now? He is doing his Windgrace is doing his Picard now, and he's doing his Patrick Stewart. I've seen everything. Hey dear. There you go. Do as I say, woman. Oh, now we're gonna learn a bit of history, a bit of law. It's like a bit of an exposition dump now. So off we go. There we go. Lightning striking him, and he's fine because he's immortal. We learn it's the quickening. Says we are the same, we're brothers, and then we go back to now. Sean Connery was there for a good hour watching them have fun. Oh, that right. I see what you mean. Yeah, probably. Yeah. So I'll not. I'll interrupt them after they've done the deed. Anyway, so we're back at the police station, and what's her face? Brenda wants more information about Nash, so she's obviously concocted a scheme. She's going to go into I forgot Moran's office and invite him to lunch, leave her purse behind as they're going out. Say, "Oh, I forgot my purse," and she's going to go back in and get the information about Connor McLeod or Russell Nash, basically where he lives. So she says, "There we go." So they go in, and I forgot my purse. She's been sneaky. Then we're back with Connor in his place. He's got the book. He's got the book written by Brenda. And it's what we're doing now. Oh, then we're having the first lesson. Another nice transition from his fish tank to a lock in Scotland. It's a really good transition, is that? I really like that. Remember, this is 1986. No CG back then. Well, not CG as we know it today, but anyway. Right, so they're in a boat in the middle of a lock. I bet Sandra knows which lock it is, because I don't, but it's a lock somewhere in Scotland. And then we're learning that he says he's Egyptian. Says you said you were from Spain. You are a liar. And tells him about haggis. Obviously, being a Scot, Sean Connery didn't know all this. But never mind. He's been an actor today. Anyway, they're talking about haggis. There we go. I cannot swim, you Spanish peacock. And says, I'm Egyptian. You said you were from Spain. You're a liar. Says, you have the manners of a goat, and you smell like a dung heap, and you have no knowledge whatsoever of your potential. Now, get out. So it dumps him in the water, and rows away. And Connor thinks he's drowning, but he can't. So he's obviously develops gills or something. I don't know. He doesn't drown because he's immortal. Maybe just don't know. But he can speak underwater because he's going blah, 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 blah. He comes out of the water, predator style. Has a swing at. He looks like that pirate off the Mandalorian season 3, doesn't he? That early. Anyway, has a swing at Ramirez with his sword, but as soon as his sword comes down, Ramirez is not even there. You go, crude and slow, clansman. Anyway, so there we go. So he easily disarms him. They're going to teach him is Ramirez. Why has Ramirez decided that Connor, is the one that's going to defeat the Kurgan? How does he know he's got potential? Can he just sense it? I don't know. But maybe he thinks, he's been around a long time as Ramirez, so obviously knows people. Maybe he's met a lot of immortals in his time, and probably offed a lot of immortals, and must sense something about Connor McLeod, that he will be the one to defeat the Kurgan. So I was going to teach him. So we're going to have some lessons and some montages and stuff. And he's asking, how does this happen? Yes, Connor has a higher midichlorian count. Yeah, Joshua says. They're asking how did this happen? How are immortals born? Apparently, they're just born randomly. Who knows? But they are special. They seem to be like closer to nature than regular people because they can sense nature. Obviously, the lightning and the weather and animals. They can sense the heartbeats and stuff of animals and the blood coursing and all that. So the more at one with the earth, I suppose you could say. I was going to teach him all about it, what to do, and fight for the prize. Because we learn that that sometime in the future they will have an irresistible urge to travel to a faraway land. Anyway, so we're in montage time now. It's Rocky. It's Rocky now. His training. Here we go. Obviously, there we go. Not going well for Connor. Falls on him. But he's fine, and they do a lot of fighting up on top of craggy rocks for some reason. There they are. Hang on, wait for it to appear for you. There we go. There's a lot of fighting up on craggy rocks, and outside the house. There you go. Never overextend your thrust, and you're vulnerable and off balance. He pushes him over, and Heather laughs, and he says, "Is it maybe lock shield? I don't know. And he says, Heather, please." So they carry on. They say, more fight. It's training. It's a training montage, isn't it? That's what I'm trying to say. And we learn that they'll never fight on holy ground. Does that mean any holy ground? If they're in like Japan and there's like a Shinto shrine, is that classed as holy ground? Or if they're in, I don't know, Mecca or something like that, an Islamic holy ground, like a mosque. That's what I'm trying to say. If they're in a mosque, is that classed as holy ground? Obviously, it must be. It must be just any holy ground. Right, this is the last. Now for the last. Feel the stag. It's heart pounding. There we go. It's blood coursing. And they start running across the beach. It's Rocky 3, isn't it? And then they jump into the water. This is the quickening. They jump into the water, and then next shot, they're fighting again up on a rocky crag. There you go. And he disarms him. He disarms Ramirez. His sword goes flying. But they obviously find it again. Let's see if it shows it. There we go. He's going to disarm him. He did throw it away, didn't he? He didn't disarm. He threw it. But anyway, off it goes. You think lost forever, but they obviously find it because he's got it again later. And then one last little fight. Connor bests him. Obviously friends. He's not going to kill him. And says, if the time came, would you take my head? Doesn't answer him. Right, so they've gone to the village or whatever. Don't know what village this is. But there's a market and there's like a boxing match going on, and Heather's buying live chickens and a new dress. There you go. There's the boxing, bare fist fighting because it's Scotland. There you go. She's buying chickens, and we learn that the immortals can't have children. And he says, Heather, I'll not like that. I can tell you that for nothing. He tells her he's got to. Ramirez says you must leave her, and but obviously he doesn't want to. It's the quickening, and he read the script. All right, okay, whatever. See, we learn he was born 2,437 years ago, obviously in Egypt, and he's had 3 wives, and then his last wife, which were obviously a long time ago. When is this? This is like 1600-ish. Well, no, 1550, we'll say. And that sword was made in like 500 and something BC, so that's like 2,000 years, isn't it? They had like 400 years of getting married to women and realizing, he was going to outlive them all. Anyways, like the father of his last wife made him that sword, and it's an amazing sword. It's like 1,000 years before its time, saying, "Please let Heather go," but he won't. He won't let Heather go. Anyway, right. So anyway, then we cut to the castle, and they're having a chat, and we learn about the Kurgans. It's because of him that Ramirez has sought out McLeod. So obviously, he senses McLeod's got this potential. He was the strongest of the immortals. I sense he's probably one of the oldest as well, along with Ramirez. But and maybe he thinks Connor's got potential because maybe he's one of the youngest immortals, isn't he? Because he's he's born recently, so maybe he's got that youthful energy. But anyway, so it says that you've got to beat him basically at some point, or somebody else will. Right, so we cut to the castle. We learn of one of Ramirez's romantic escapades. Don't know where Connor is. He must be off somewhere doing Scottish things. I don't know. Doesn't say. He's not there for whatever reason. There's just Heather and Ramirez, and he's telling her about one of his romantic escapades. But then he senses the Kurgans arrived, and here he is, comes through the balsa wood door, tells Heather to get out. Anyway, here he is, looking like not him, just looking like Colin Grigson from Bad News. Remember them? The late great Rick Mail. But there he is. Anyway, so they'll fight. Then go into subtitles. Let's go back. Rah! So there goes the Highlander. Where is he? We still don't know where he is. Just says he's not here. I've prepared him for you. There you go. But they have a fight, and obviously these Scottish castles are not built very well because they start destroying the castle with their swords in a bit. Oh, by the way, he slashes. I forgot to mention. Ramirez slashes Kurgan's throat, and obviously don't decapitate him, but he slashes his throat. And this must be. I'm thinking, is it akin to when King Arthur? Was it King Arthur or? No, it wasn't King Arthur. It was Lancelot was run through by Excalibur, and his wound never healed. Is this something like that? Is his throat never properly healed up, which is why we see him later on with safety pins in? I don't know. Anyway, so the fighting. Heather's down below screaming, as women do. So the fighting away. Up and down they go, up and down the steps. Up the steps, and they come down the steps, and they go back up the steps again. And this is now when they start demolishing the castle, look, with their swords. The castle's falling apart as they go. Wait a minute. Is it going to catch up? Yep. So you're getting lots of holes. And they end up just being on a staircase. Yes, Ramirez runs through the Kurgan, through his gut. The Kurgan just pulls out the blade. There you go. Just pulls the blade out. It's symbolism, says Wingrace. Yes. How powerful they are, I suppose. They end up just atop the staircase. There they are. Look, just atop that staircase. And Kurgan overpowers Ramirez, or maybe it's an Obi-Wan Kenobi scenario going on. I ask who the woman is, and Ramirez says she's his. Spits in his face. Joshua says, to be fair, that's a really old castle at that time, thus the vacancy. Well, yeah, but swords. But anyway. So anyway, Ramirez gets his head chopped off. There can be only one. Got to say that. That's also must be one of the rules. You've got to say that as you chop one of their head, somebody's head off. There we go. And that's the end of Ramirez. Still around because we do hear his voice at the end. So he's like I say, it's an Obi-Wan Kenobi moment. But anyway, so yeah, he gets his power and stuff. Does the quickening and all that. And then there's a really bad lightning thing here. We show it. Still think he looks like Colin Grigson. Come on, show us. Never mind. Oh, so I've gone too far now. Look. There you go. Hang on, look again. Go a bit further back. Hey, so it looks poo, doesn't it? There you go. Looks poo. But not that I could do any better. But I still think he looks like Colin Grigson is about to sing Warriors of Genghis Khan. If you don't know what I'm talking about, Google it. Yes, special swords, Joshua, but swords nonetheless. So anyway, he falls, and then Heather obviously goes up to him. They're never dead, have they? Hello, pretty. So there we go. Then we cut to modern days. Too much screaming. Well, it was a thing to do. Brenda's obviously found out where his office is, whatever. So she's gone to find him. This is I forgot her name now. Is it? I can't remember. I'll look it up. Where is she? Where is she? Is it Sheila Gish? That's it, Sheila Gish. As Rachel, who we learn, well, in a minute. We'll get there. Right. So she's gone looking for him. She's asking about the sword. He says, I don't deal in exotic weapons. Then he invites her out for dinner. Actually, he says, can you cook? So he's going to go to her place for dinner. She's telling him about the sword, the Japanese sword. Metal were folded 200 times. I don't know. I don't know anything about swords, so I don't know. This is where they asked for dinner. We're going to go for dinner. Rachel's smiling, even though it's obvious that she's in love with Russell Nash. She probably has been all her life, as we'll learn. Sorry, my mouse pointer there in the middle of the screen. Right, then, where are we now? There we go, Headhunter Stark City, because people, body counts, obviously. Oh, hang on. What's happening there? Rumble saying, we're having trouble streaming to your destination. Yeah. Have a look. See what happened. Tell you, there's always something, isn't there? Are we still going? It still says we're live there. Tell you, there's always something, isn't there? Are we still going? It still says we're live there. Mute that tab. Nope. Still going. Still going. So they just got a message from Streamlabs. We're having trouble streaming to the your destination. Is it the Rumble? Yes, the Rumble one. Yes. Bizarre. Tell you, Streamlabs must be having problems. Right, where were we? Oh, yes, it's the other. It's not Garfield. It's the other copper whose name I can never remember either. Bedso is the one that's tasked to keep an eye on Brenda and Nash. Well, keep an eye on Nash, and he sees Brenda going in to see him. So and now he's going to start watching Brenda. So there we go. Right, then we cut to Rachel and Connor talking. Another cool transition where we learn how they met, and then they say, "Tell them I'm immortal." And a cool transition. Well, he worked in music videos, and presumably this is somewhere in Europe in World War II. We probably filmed on an industrial estate in Bedford or something like that. I don't know. But Connor, obviously fighting for the good guys, comes across young Rachel. She says, "Everybody's dead," and So he's going to look after her now. But then a Nazi arrives. Sorry, a Nazi arrives and shoots him. But he's not dead. And she says, "Hey, you're still alive." And he goes, "It's a kind of magic." And you're like, doing the old Leonardo DiCaprio meme. And he disarms the Nazi, and the Nazi says something to him in German. So he says, "Whatever you say, Jack, you're the master race," and kills him. Uh, Maybe it says on the subtitles this saying. Let's have a look. Have a look, see if it says anything. By the way, I didn't watch it with the subtitles earlier on, by the way. I never thought. Does it say what he says? Ooh, 9. I'm gonna say something. Doesn't tell us what he's saying in German. Anyway, right, so he kills the Nazi, and then he gathers up Rachel. So he's obviously raised Rachel as his own daughter-ish, I suppose. But it's obviously she's in love with him. Probably has been all her life, but it's an unrequited love. And there we go. He's off to Brenda's now. Here she go. Here he is with a bottle of wine and a present. Something that's like one of my paintings that I've done. Maybe she did it herself. I don't know, but very good, is it? Sorry. Anyway, so she's saying, "Help yourself to a drink. I won't be a moment." So anyway, fine. She's got a gun. She's got a gun in a box. Bed sores outside, casing the joint. Sorry, staking it out. Villains case joints, don't they? Please stake out. Find a gun in a drawer, and then in the other thing, she's got a tape recorder going, recording. She lies to him, saying that she works for the Metropolitan Museum in Acquisitions, which is why she's interested in the sword. Then they have a drink of the brandy, and he says 1780. I forgot now. Was it 1783? Brandy. I've got to 1783, and then he tells us the history of 1783. What was it? The Montgolfier brothers first flew in their balloon and other stuff. England recognised the independence of the United States, but didn't really. Hey, there you go. So she says, "Oh, that's interesting." And then she says, "What's that over there?" Because she's really interested in the present. She don't give a monkeys about brandy and the history of it. But she opens it up. He says, "It's her book," and he says, doesn't say anything about the Met. Says, "You work for forensics for the police department. Are you and Moran trying to set me up?" And she says, "No." And he says, "Well, why is that cop outside watching?" And says, what you going to do? Are you going to shoot me with the 45 or whatever? I don't know. Right, so you can turn off the tape or shoot me with the 45. But she wants to know about the sword. That's all she wants to know. She said, and it's 1,000 years before its time. It's like the Antikythera mechanism of swords. That's all she wants, and tells her, but you ever guess it's a kind of magic? Yes, Sandra. He tells her, basically, you don't always get what you want. So he leaves then, and then we hear Obi-Wan Kenobi saying, "You must leave her, brother." Echo. Then it's the Who Wants to Live Forever scene. Another bit of a montage. Then we see the wreckage of the castle. They built another little house there, Wattle and Daub or whatever. I don't know. But now we're going to see him growing up with, not growing up. We're going to see Heather growing old as Connor stays the same. But here we go. As the years go by, He goes, Heather, and then she comes here, and then she's old, look, with grey hair and wrinkly face. And now she's even older. Remember, they haven't had kids, and she's even older. He says he loves her as much now as he did when he first met her. There you go. And she don't want to die, but she does. It's all sad, and I'm tearing up. Anyway, she dies, and he obviously just burns the house down, probably with her in it. Off he goes. And he leaves his sword there. He leaves it. I'm presuming he leaves his sword there, and that's because now he's using Ramirez's sword, isn't it? That's like her headstone. I'm presuming they were married. Were they just living together, or did they actually get married? I don't know, but we'll say they got married. She was Heather McLeod. Saying that again, having trouble streaming to your destination. The Rumble one. I wonder why. It says 2 viewers waiting. There's always something, isn't there? Always something. Anyway, whatever. Joshua says, you sure she's not just pining for the fjords? Pining for the fjords? She snuffed it. Right, back to modern days. Here we meet Castigear, played by Hugh. Is it Hugh Quashie? Or was it the other one? Yes, it's Hugh Quashie, isn't it? Who's famous in the UK for being in Casualty. Or was it Holby City? I can't remember. One of those. Briefing into sci-fi, it was Captain Panaker in The Phantom Menace. Anyways, we meet him. So he's obviously a friend of McLeod's. Obviously, we know not all the immortals are enemies of each other. Some of them are friends, and Castigear is one of McLeod's friends. And so they suggest they have a party. I said, when was the last time we had a party? And he says, it was 1783. And he says, oh, yes, your famous duel on Boston Common. So then we're going to go back to that, I think. He's talking about the gathering is here. Apparently, there's only 3 left now. There's only Castigear, McLeod, and the Kurgan left. But anyway, flashback to the duel on Boston Common. I don't think this probably is Boston Common. It looks like some English stately home. I don't know, Harewood House or somewhere. I don't know. But this fella, he's a famous English actor, and I can't remember his name either. Let's have a look. Bassett, Ian Redding. Is that him? Is it him? I think it's no. Is it? I don't know. Let me look. Just bear with me. Let's see if it's him. Yes, it's him. It's Ian Reddington. Who's done a lot of British TV. Like a lot of these. I've seen him in a few films as well. But yes, he's like a face that's been on British TV a lot. Casualty, probably. The Bill, etc. Touch of Frost. Anyway, so he's going to have a duel because he can't. Well, we learn why, and obviously Connor's drunk. He can't see, and he keeps running him through with his rapier. Yes, that's what she says. Don't see me, Connor. That's what Heather said. And anyway, back to the duel, and he's keeps running him through again and again, and again and again, and then finally, one last time, he says, "Stop, sir! I beseech you. I apologize for calling your wife a bloated warthog," and then laughs. And says, "I bid you good day," and he starts walking off. And then Hotchkiss, his manservant, says, "Shoot him, sir, in the back of the head." But he shoots Hotchkiss instead. I presume he just shoots him in the bottom. Like it, doesn't it? Probably not killed him. Probably just shot him in the bottom. And that's the end of that. Then we're back at the hotel. The Kurgan's coming out. Sorry, Victor Kruger's coming out. And the manager says, you like candy? She says you were kind of kinky. And he goes, don't ever speak to me. Don't ever speak to me again. Do you understand? And he's nodding. Good. So I hope you get your head chopped off, asshole. And he's telling him to shut up. Right, now, with this fella, this survivalist chap. What's his name now? Another famous, like, American actor that lives in Britain. Been in a lot of, obviously plays Americans in British stuff. Where is he? Where is he? Where is he? Let me find him. Can't find him. Hey, we'll get there. We'll get there. Just bear with me. Where is it? By the way, the hotel clerk is called Buck and he's uncredited, apparently. I can't find this fella. I can't remember his name. He's been in lots of stuff. But I can't find him in the list. It's not him. It's not him. Is it him? Yes, it is him. It's yes, it's Christopher Malcolm playing Kirk Matunis, but you may know him as oh, I forgot his bloody name now. Oh dear. In Empire Strikes Back. Where are we? Zev, that's it. I wouldn't say Hobby, but Hobby's somebody else. Played Zev in Empire Strikes Back. One of the rebel snow speeder pilots. Anyway, so he's cruising round in his sports car full of guns, America. Here he is, listening to some music down the alleys of. It's actually filmed in England, this, by the way. And then he sees Castigear and the Kurgan sword fighting down an alley. So he thinks, this is the real thing. So he goes into Marine mode. He keeps calling himself Marine. There we go. Let's go. Go, 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 go. Says, what the hell's going on? And then they're still fighting. Kurgan chops off Castigear's head. This fella, Kirk Matunis, unloads into him with his machine gun. But obviously, it don't kill him. What happens if you shot a immortal in the head? Don't know. Or if you shot him in the neck, severed the spinal column. You know, with the bullets, would that kill him? Don't know. Anyway, whatever. So he's shooting him. People are running to see what's going on. He thinks he's dead, but he's not. He gets run through. There's this chap with the Kurgan sword. The Kurgan picks him up because he's super strong. Yes, dude thought he was Frank Castle. Thinks he's the Punisher. Anyway, come on, catch up. So runs him through. There we go. And then throws him. He goes all that, and then throws him. Sorry, hit me mic. Have a drink of water. Hey dear. And he throws him. And then he has his quickening thing. There we go. Castigear's body floats up. All the manhole covers. Is that what we call them in America? I think we call them that here. Manhole covers. They all come out of the ground. There we go. He's watching because he's not dead. He's not dead. He doesn't die either. She's a witness. And that's all that's kicking off. All the windows are exploding, etc. The huge power surge. There's the manhole that's flying off. And he comes running out, finds these two, pulls the old fella out, and gets in the car in a minute. She's saying, "Keep driving," but for some reason he doesn't. He chops off the roof of the car with his sword and drags him out. Gets in next to her, goes, "Mom." He's driving about, and then go too far. He drives off, and she's screaming, and then suddenly, like I said, she's here. She's on the front of the car. I don't know how she ended up like that, but she's turned into a stunt person. Peter Diamond, don't know. Don't know what happened to her. We presume she died. I don't know. Or she might have been fine. He could have pulled over and just walked off. I don't know. But something, she's probably not in the best of health. Right, so at the hospital, they're checking on. Oh, there we go. This Matunas fella. We learn that he's into guns and stuff. They said he's basically a good guy. There you go. So they're trying to get him. They want him to show him a photo of Connor McLeod, and they said that because they're thinking he's their man that's going around chopping people's heads off, and he says, "No, it's not him." Says, "Are you sure?" He says, "Yes, I'll never forget that fella. He ran me through. Had a big scar on his neck." So they're like, "Oh shit." With the amount of castles in this movie, he got confused. Yeah, probably. Yeah, Frank Castle, yes, Frank Castle. Anyway, there we go. They're saying, "Is it him?" He says, "No, him. The one that got him had a big scar on his neck." And he says he unloaded it into him, and he just got up. Can't protect myself. And then he tells them, but we don't hear him. Cuts to outside, and we just see him telling him about all the stuff that happened afterwards, all the magical stuff, because it's a kind of magic. Anyway, that's him telling him that. And they said, "Don't tell the press about bodies glowing in the dark and all that stuff." This is a funny scene with the hot dog stand fella saying, "What does incompetent mean? What does baffled mean?" There you go. That's a funny little scene. Right, Brenda's gone to some art of the library or something. I don't know. And she's gone to see. Oh, there we go. She's the Hall of Records. She's gone to find Russell Nash's birth certificate, and she finds it. There we go. There we go. Born in Syracuse, which had a starship named after it, didn't it? Wingrace. In 1945, mother's name Karen Joan Kelsey. So she's going to go and speak to the physician. There you go. He says, "Yes, I remember that. 1945, 40 years ago." But he says he remembers because she were an unwed mother. And we learn that she died straight after giving birth. And then he died. Russell Nash died about a minute and a half later. So she's thinking, oh, the plot thickens. Now she's gone to this archivist chap. Is this part of the police station? I don't know, but she's gone there in this really cold room that they're in. So we learn that in that building where Nash lives, Connor McLeod, it's had 5 owners since it was built in 1796, and they all turn out to be the same because they've all got the same handwriting. My handwriting changes from day to day. Never mind of 5 lifetimes being the same. Matching on the computer screen, which we'll see in a minute. There you go. So all the same handwriting. Anyway, so we learned that this guy is like the modern day Count Saint Germain. He's can't die, living different lifetimes, assuming identities of kids that died, in childbirth and taking their names. Anyway, right. So we cut to the church, and Connor's there. It's Heather's birthday. Hang on, is this the song you mentioned? Which song? I don't know. It might be a little bit behind. I don't know. If you're not watching me exactly live, it might be on about Who Wants to Live Forever, but I'm always crying at that. Anyway, it must be Heather's birthday. And so he's lighting a candle for her, and then he's going to have a little sit down. Does he know the Kurgan's going to come there? I don't know, but the Kurgan arrives. He puts out all the candles because he's bad, and then he goes and sits down behind Connor. Connor turns around. He says, "Oh, who cuts your hair?" And goes, "I'm in disguise." And then we see he's got safety pins in his neck, and it looks like the wound opened up again. Did it open up while they were fighting Castigate? I don't know. But is it a case of, as I said, like with Lancelot and the Excalibur, did the wound never heal properly? I don't know. And he's got to keep pinning it back together. Anyway, I don't know. So he's in disguise. Is that a tattoo? Has he got a tattoo on his head? I don't know. Is it? I don't know. Looks like it. I wouldn't be surprised. Oh, New York. Oh, I don't know. He was singing that earlier on, wasn't he? Or is that later? Can't remember now. I can't remember. I do sing. I think he sings it later, doesn't he? With Brenda in the car. Anyway, obviously they can't fight because they're on holy ground, and he tells him, just them two are left, so they've got to fight for the prize. But obviously they can't do it there. And he tells him about Ramirez. Halloween, ladies, who does that? There's no sense of humor. And then Ramirez was an effete snob. I took his head and R-worded his woman before his blood was even cold. And then he learns that the woman was obviously Heather, but it was Connor's wife. And she never told you. Obviously, Connor grabs him then. He says, "Holy ground, Highlander." There we go. Remember what Ramirez taught you. Connor says, "I'll be outside." And he does his, "I have something to say." The priest comes up to him and says, "People are trying to pray. You're disturbing them." He says, does your God love these people or whatever? He says, "Yes, he died for our sins. That shall be his undoing." Then he apologizes, licks the priest's hand. And then he says, "I have something to say. It's better to burn out than to fade away." Which I think it's from a Neil Young song, which I don't know. And but probably more famously, it's from a Def Leppard song, "Rock of Ages." That's where I knew it from. Yeah. Right, so she's going to see Nash. She wants to see him, but he said, "Mr. Nash is not in." And then he walks in, and he says, "Looking for a dead guy called Nash." So he's gonna spill the beans now. Connor takes her into his inner sanctum. He tells us, "Been alive for 4.5 centuries, he cannot die." And then he gets him, he stabs himself. Don't know why he's got to do it with her holding the knife. Don't know, but he does. And there we go. Connor MacLeod of the Clan MacLeod, born in the village of Glenfinnan on the shores of Loch Shiel, and I am immortal. Then he stabs himself, but he's fine. And then they have a sex scene, I think. Yes, they have a sex scene. And then they go to the zoo. Suppose that's what you do after you've done the deed. You go to the zoo. And part ways, it seems. He sort of like fobs him off and buggers off. But in the background, Kurgan's watching them. And but she sods off, goes back home. Kurgan's waiting for her. He obviously can teleport. And she, it's the old hello, pretty. Here he is at the top of the stairs. He's hello, pretty. I'll just check and make sure we're still going. We're still going. Looks like it on Rumble. Let's check YouTube. Make sure we're still going on YouTube. Where are you? There we go. It says we are. It says we are. There we go. Yeah, we're still going. Where are we? There. Sure you didn't switch over to cat people. I don't get it. I don't get it, Joshua. Sorry. By the way, that's a film I don't think I've ever seen. The original Cat People or the remake. I don't think I've ever seen it. It's supposed to be a classic, innit? And I've never got around to seeing it. Anyway, so Kurgan's after her now. So she gets into her flat. For some reason, she just stops there and says, "Oh my," and just doesn't do anything. And then the Kurgan smashes the door down. So then she goes for a gun. Remember, she's got a gun, but she's not quick enough, and he obviously grabbed it, and then he's driving. This is where he's singing New York, New York. And she's screaming, and then he screams as well. Oh, the zoo. Oh, right, I see what you mean. Yes, there were the lions, weren't there? Oh, right, you mentioned the 12-inch Queen single earlier. Oh, yes, I did. No, it wasn't New York, New York. I can't. My records are all there, and I can't. Which one was it now? I mean, there's not that many, were there, released off that album to do with Highlander, anyway. It wasn't 1 Year of Love. It wasn't a kind. It might have been. No, it wasn't A Kind of Magic. Or was it? It might have been. It might have been A Kind of Magic. I can't remember. It means looking through them all, and I can't be bothered. Can't be bothered. Actually, oh no, never mind. I'm going to say I've actually probably got a picture of it on my computer, but never mind. Anyway, he's driving about playing chicken with all the cars. She's screaming, fearing for her life. He's laughing, singing New York, New York. He's running people over, obviously killing people. She's screaming. Then he knocks this motorcyclist off his motorbike. And she's saying, "Shut up." She screams, "Shut up." And then he screams in her voice, "Shut up." So obviously he can impersonate people really well. And it'd be nice if they'd done a little thing somewhere where they could have fooled Connor McLeod into thinking he were her. They could have done that, couldn't they, at some point? Lured Connor McLeod somewhere. Say, "Connor, help me," in her voice. A bit like in that Star Trek original series episode, which I can't remember. The one with Rook, the big robot, played by Ted, what's his face, from the Addams Family. But they didn't. Right. So anyway, right. So they headed to the Silver Cup Studios, which apparently is a super famous film and TV studio in New York. They're going there. Originally, the big fight at the end was supposed to be on, I think, the Statue of Liberty. I think, but they decided for this instead, which is probably for the best. Anyway. Yes, or even done Ramirez's voice as a taunt. Yeah, they could have done, but they didn't. Or maybe they didn't. It got cut out. You don't know what were in the original script. The films change. Anyway, so right, Nash has got a message from Kurgan, obviously saying he's got Brenda. So come and claim her. We're going to fight for the prize, etc. So he tells Rachel some instructions in your desk, and she says, "You're not coming back, even if you kill him." And he says, "No, Russell Nash dies tonight." So he says, he gives her the power of attorney. I think basically he's just giving her everything, and he's going off to live a new life. Probably got other money stashed elsewhere, I suppose. But there you go. Russell Nash dies tonight. So he's going off to meet his fate. Either save Brenda or not. And defeat the Kurgan or not. He's got to go. Right, so. Oh, there he is. Look, there, oh, you can't see him. I can just see him there. There he is arriving. Obviously, I don't know, it might be. Is this actually on the Silver Cup building? It won't be later on when they're actually fighting and it's all collapsing. Surely it's on a stage. Or this could be a stage, I don't know. With a big, what they call it, translight. I don't know. A car's moving. Oh, cars are moving, aren't they? So, or maybe it's a rear screen projection. Or maybe they're actually there. I've no idea. Waffling. Anyway, he's got Ramirez's sword. So they're going to start fighting. There's Brenda tied up, screaming, no doubt. So I think it goes and does he get her free? Gets interrupted by the Kurgan. So they're fighting on the Silver Cup sign, and it all ends up. I think it ends up fall. At least some of the letters fall off. At least. Look, yes, too much screaming again, Sandra. Hey. I'd have been screaming if it were me. If I were in, if Connor McLeod were a woman and I were her, boyfriend, I'd have been screaming as well. Anyway, they're fighting away, and the letters are falling off. Just reminds me, the letters falling off. Just reminds me of that old joke where that fella gets a call from the no. Oh, never mind. I'm not a comedian. I forgot the joke. It's about the big sea. The sign of Curry's fell off and hit him on the head. Anyway, there you go. It's all collapsing, and they're still fighting in water. I think there were a water tank that burst open. Brenda's around somewhere. She's got free. I don't know where she is, but she's around. Oh, there she is, hanging. But she drags herself up. Anyway, so they're still fighting, and then they fall down. Here we go. Oh, too far. They go through this. It's on pointing. Sorry. They go through this nightlight thing. What do they call them? Skylight thing. They go through that. Oh, I pressed the wrong button again. Tell it, bloody useless. Here we go. All electricity and stuff. There they go through there. And now they do a bit of force falling. So they must have like force powers because they're falling really slowly. Look down this, I don't know, 50 feet or something. I don't know. Falling really slowly. Ah! But remember, we saw Brenda up there. But they've fallen down there. And either Brenda is really good at jumping, or she's got like a abseiling gear, and she she just repels down. I don't know, but she ends up down there as well magically. Maybe we see there. Look, and they continue their fight. But then we see Brenda as well in a minute. Who's knocked him down? I think he's gonna kill him. We actually saw Brenda trying the door, but then Brenda stopped him. Do this bit. No, it's gone too far. Look. He's about to kill him, so now it ends. But then Brenda hits him with a metal pipe. There we go. Appeared out of nowhere. Kurgan's going to kill her, but Connor McLeod saves her. Does a little quip. What kept you? Like 50-foot drop. So they carry on fighting. We're getting near the end now. And he starts injuring the Kurgan more. Keeps getting more slices in. There we go. Nice bit of sparks. Sparks. Lightsabers. Yeah. He gets him in the gut and he gets him on the chest. And one last. Wow, his eyes go funny. I don't know why. His eyes. Is it just his pupils that are supposed to really dilated or what? But I say his eyes go peculiar for some reason. And then he does a last. Is it a Kurgan war cry or something? But he does. Let's see if it'll play. Come on, do your thing. There we go. And then McLeod just slices. Doesn't seem to hit him, but he does. And a very. Let me get a not that good decapitation, because it doesn't look as though he's decapitated. I'll just keep doing that. I'll make sure we're still going. Yeah. Right, so he's just standing there, and then he smiles, points, by the way, reaches out. And then his head just does that. There's supposed to be loads of blood coming out. They kind of covered it up with sparkles. He's supposed to be decapitated, but didn't really look it. But obviously he is, because next time you see him, he ain't got a head on. So they could have done a bit of a better decapitation, but whatever. Anyway, the Kurgan's got extra magic picked up from his background, probably. Probably they've all got extra magic. Anyway, so now we have the prize. He gets the prize now, and this is a bit of Forbidden Planet, monsters from the id stuff going on. They go, there can be only one, and then all the windows smash and all that jazz. There we go. Then all these mystical creatures start flying about and all that. There we are. All this is going on. We've got some lightning in to hide the wires that are going to pick him up. Not very well, but that's a load of creatures like those demons. I don't know what they're supposed to be. The quickening. Oh, quickening overpowers me. I am everything. Says I know everything, and they're all these like monsters going round and biting him and all that stuff. I said, it reminds me of Forbidden Planet, that monster from the id. They kind of remind me of that. And then he falls to the ground, and it's over. Then we learn he's fine, he's not dead. And then he's gone back to Scotland, gone back to his roots, and we learn. I'll come back to where it all began. We learn that he now has, he has the power, says Wyngrace. He's shouting it as well. That he can influence world leaders to do good things, well, presumably, and all that. And he can grow old and have children. And says, you never told me about that, you Scottish haggis. But not Scottish haggis, you Spanish haggis, whatever. There you go. And then we have another Obi-Wan Kenobi bit. Patience, Highlander, and all that. You have done well, but it'll take time. And there we go. So he's going to grow old and die, but he can do good and all that. But then when we get to is it Highlander 2? I can't remember what happens now. I know in Highlander 3, he's got older, hasn't he, as Connor McLeod. But he's like, he's doing something sciencey, and I can't remember what. But then we learn in Highlander 3, he didn't get the prize because there was still an immortal about, the sorcerer, Mario Van Peebles. So he must have got the second prize. He got the consolation prize. Anyway, have a bit of a montage. What's happened? But then basically that's the end of the film. So he gets his redhead. And can live happily ever after. And the film ends, and we listen to some Queen music, which is cool. Listening to It's a Kind of Magic. And there we go. That's the end of the film. So we'll leave it there. Where are we? I nearly pressed the wrong button then. We'll leave it there. Hang on, let me get rid of that. Whew. Right, Joshua says, Connor becomes Raiden after the prize. Haha, I have no idea what you're talking about. I have no idea. Were Raiden in Metal Gear Solid? I don't know. Anyway, so there you go. Amazing film. I love it. I love it. It's Highlander. Magnificent. A great film. One of my favourites. I'll have to give the others. I've got them. I'll have to give them another whirl. But as I said, never got around to watching them again. And see if the second one really is just as bad as I remember. Anyway. Hey, he was a good Raiden. Oh, is it somebody else that Christopher Lambert played? I don't know. I don't know. Wingray says he was a good Raiden. No idea. I don't know. I haven't seen Christopher Lambert in a lot of things, to be honest. I saw him in Greystoke, The Legend of Tarzan, Lord of the Apes. That's a good film. Really good film. With Ralph Richardson sliding down some stairs on a tray. For some reason, that sticks in my head. Oh, original Mortal Kombat movie. Oh, right, one of my guilty pleasures. I don't think I've seen it. What else have I seen him in? Oh, but in that film, is it Fortress, where it was like a prison? He got sent to a prison underground, and to escape or something. It was like they had like collars or something that blew your head up, a bit like Running Man, and to escape from this prison. Was it underground or was it in space? Or was that Fortress 2? Anyway, whatever. I remember him in that as well. Gwyn Grace says, please watch OG Mortal Kombat. It's really fun. Okay. Well, I'll have a look for it then. I'm sure it is. Anyway, right, we'll leave it there. Been going for 2 hours. Right, so we'll leave it there. So thanks, Wing Grace. Thanks, Joshua. Thanks, Sharon. Sharon, who's the hell Sharon? Thanks, Sandra. Sharon. Who else? Who else have we seen today? There were another one earlier on, wasn't there? Josh Temple. He popped in, didn't he? Did Josh Temple say hello? See if I've missed anybody. But anyway, nice to meet you, Sandra. You're a newbie to this show. Hopefully you'll come back if you haven't got on your nerves. Joshua says seconding a viewing of Mortal Kombat. All right, I'll look for it then. God, stop hassling me. Right. Toodles manoodles, says Joshua. Right, we'll leave it there. So thanks for watching, everybody. And hang on, let me get myself sorted here. Where are we? There we go. So thanks for watching. Like I say, go watch Highlander now. It's great, and it's cool. So thanks for watching. Wherever you are, look after each other. And until next time, I'll see thee.